I'm striving to get rich. That's why I always went 2 years without buying shoes and feet. Things change now. My mom hearing me wear my music and she look a little proud.
At the time of this video and the recording of this video, the Bears currently sit at 4-7, heading into a matchup at home against the Arizona Cardinals. And the Bears, sitting at 4-7, still mathematically have a shot at making the playoffs this year. The Bears season has been an up and down whirlwind, to say the absolute least. For them to be even still alive in the playoff hunt just says how bad the bottom of the NFC has been this year. And it's also crazy to think that the way the Bears season has gone so far, with all of the injuries and all of the play or misplay of the offense, I should say, they still have a mathematical shot at the playoffs. Now, of course, me being a Bears fan, of course I will want this team to make the playoffs. Of course I will want them to win every single game from here on out. Of course I will want that. But for me making this video, this graphic right here had a lot of Bear fans with a lot of anticipation and a lot of enthusiasm about the Bears' chances to make the playoffs. Now, me personally, like I said, yes, I would love for the Bears to make the playoffs. But this video is about the Bears not making the playoffs. The Bears making the playoffs this year has the potential to ruin the future of the franchise. Not just for next year, but for years to come. I will explain the reasons why in this video. But before I do that, make sure you guys leave this video a like. That helps this channel to grow. And if you are a first-time viewer of this channel, make sure you click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. Let's get into my reasons why I think the Chicago Bears making the playoffs this year can actually ruin their future. Reason number one, and I think the biggest reason, is the roster makeup. Now, we look at this roster now, it is done with a lot of injuries to Khalil Mack, to Allen Robinson, to Akeem Hicks being in and out of the lineup, Danny Trevathan being in and out of the lineup, Alec Ogletree not really being that big of a presence on the defensive side of the ball, Eddie Jackson with injuries, Tashawn Gibson with injuries. Then our offensive side of the ball, Tariq Cohen has still yet to play another single down this year. Allen Robinson has dealt with injuries. David Montgomery has dealt with injuries. The Bears' offensive line has dealt with injuries to young players as Tevin Jenkins and Larry Borom. Even the quarterback position has injuries with Andy Dalton and Justin Fields, both having to miss time due to injuries. This Bears makeup of the roster, as we sit right now, is the oldest roster in the NFL today. A lot of guys are above 30 or right at that 30 age, with Robinson, Mack, Quinn, Andy Dalton, Jason Peters, who was the oldest man on the team at the age of 39. This Bears roster makeup is, let's just be honest, all over the place. And the Bears making the playoffs this year will keep that roster intact because they will try to build off of some success that they had. They will try to build and make this team even better. But as this roster sits right now, it is not a roster that is a continued playoff success. And I made a video earlier this season about the Bears needing to rebuild, and you can go watch that video. I will leave that video in the card here. But a brief summary is this Bears roster just needs to be rebuilt. They need to get value for some of their players now. They need to restructure this entire roster, because the number two reason of why I say the Bears making the playoffs could potentially ruin their future is the development of Justin Fields. Now, we've seen the Chicago Bears offense struggle for the past couple of years under Matt Nagy. And the Cleveland Brown game this year, which was Justin Fields' first career start as an NFL quarterback, really highlighted to a lot of people how inept that this offense can be. Schematically, this offense has proven to not work. This offense has been inconsistent all year long, and it's been inconsistent the last two seasons. A lot of people wanted to blame Trubisky. I also made a video of why he failed as a Bear. I will leave that video in the card as well. A lot of people want to blame Foles. A lot of people want to blame the structure of this roster, which the structure of the roster is not very good. But diving deeper into it, the schematics of this Bears offense is just not very good. As we sit right now, the Bears are ranked dead last in offense, dead last in passing, dead last in passing touchdowns. Now, we do have a successful running game with the Chicago Bears, but offensively, under Matt Nagy and his scheme, it has proven to be a very inconsistent offense, which can barely put up 14 points a game. In today's NFL, today's pass-happy offense, today's explosive NFL type of offense, and the Bears still struggle to put up 14 points in a single game. Watching the Bears quarterback position over the past couple of seasons with Mitchell Trubisky and Justin Fields, two athletic quarterbacks, two quarterbacks who can make things happen on the move, two quarterbacks who have athleticism that can be used as a weapon, will be failed to be utilized in Matt Nagy's offense and in Matt Nagy's scheme. Because what we've seen with the development of Mitchell Trubisky, it wasn't all on Trubisky, it was a lot on Nagy. And what we're seeing now with Justin Fields, he is kind of being locked in Matt Nagy's offense, who doesn't run the ball a lot when they need to. He gets pass happy a ton. He doesn't roll out Justin Fields behind a bad offensive line. He doesn't move the pocket with the bad offensive line, with Justin Fields' athleticism. He doesn't use a lot of the RPOs. He doesn't use a lot of those zone reads that helps use Justin Fields' athleticism as an absolute weapon. So looking at the development of Justin Fields for this year and going forward, Matt Nagy and Justin Fields together for another season will be absolutely insane to have another year of those two together. And the Bears making the playoffs this year will keep those two together. And I think keeping those two together will ultimately hurt the development of Justin Fields going forward. Because as we've seen, and we've seen flashes, Justin Fields is definitely a future star quarterback going forward. And to keep him with Matt Nagy and keep him with an offensive scheme that doesn't work, keep him with the coaching staff that doesn't work, keep him in the play calling in the system that doesn't work, the Bears have a lot of talent on this roster. The Bears have talent offensively. The Bears have talent defensively, both in the young departments. But offensively, keeping this offense together another season is just absolutely insane, and that will hurt the development of Justin Fields going forward because he will not reach his full potential in Matt Nagy's offense. And the Bears making the playoffs will have another year of that, and the Bears' future cannot afford another year of Matt Nagy and Justin Fields together because it just does not work. And his mishandling of the entire quarterback situation, him keep wanting to go to Andy Dalton because Andy Dalton is a quarterback that runs his type of offense. But I've always been one to say, if the Bears' plan this offseason was to draft a quarterback, Matt Nagy needed to be gone because he has failed to develop quarterbacks. He's failed to make anything out of Mitch Trubisky. And if this stays together, he's going to fail to make anything out of Justin Fields. So the Bears making the playoffs this season has absolute big potential to ruin their future as a football team. But that is all I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys leave this video a like. Comment your thoughts down below. Do you agree the Bears making the playoffs can hurt their future? Or do you want the Bears to make the playoffs regardless? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.